Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Pick and Day number 8 of my favorite 31 blind buy albums of all time. Of course, what we're doing each and every day here this month in October in 2025, we're picking out those albums that we bought from the record store, CD store, yard sale, thrift shop, concert, festival, whatever it might be, where you saw that album cover and you were like, I know not what that album is all about, but I'm very intrigued by the cover. I love the cover. I'm going to bring that home with me. Take a chance on it and see what it's all about. And then when you did, you got a home run, right? You hit a home run, right? Today, I'm trying to remember what the store was that I bought this in. Pretty sure I got this cassette. I no longer have it on cassette. I have it on CD now. But I bought this cassette, I believe, at Sam Goody, either in Long Island or New York City. I don't remember which one I was at, because I think at the time I was living in Long Island for a brief period right after college. Regardless, I was going through at this is a point in time. So between my transition from vinyl into CDs, there was this brief period of time where I was buying a lot of cassettes, and I was mainly buying jazz and fusion stuff on cassette. So in the late 80s, I was really starting to get into fusion quite a bit, and I was buying most of my fusion stuff on cassette. I wasn't getting them on vinyl. Vinyl was kind of phasing out. We were right towards the beginning of the CD era. I hadn't fully taken the stab into CDs yet. That would come very shortly. I think I really started to getting CDs right around kind of maybe 1990, 89 into 90. But from 87 or 88, 89, I was buying lots of cassettes. That's mainly what I was buying. So I happened to be going through the jazz section in, like I said, I believe it was Sam Goody. And I was over in the W section, and I happened to see this cassette with what I assume was a Japanese guy playing one of those, at the time, kind of groundbreaking and early headless guitars. And I was thinking, oh, that's kind of cool looking. I don't know who this guy is. He's obviously a guitar player. He's playing one of those Steinberger things. Don't know anybody who plays on it. Never heard of him before. It was cheap. It was a cassette. I was like, I had a couple bucks in my pocket, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take it home. I'm going to take it home and see what it's all about. And that was the beginning of my love for this guitar player, and I have a whole bunch of his albums now in the years since. There's quite a few I don't have, because he's got a ton, but I went out in rapid succession and went and picked up a couple more cassettes from this guy, shortly thereafter. And let me give you a little bit of information about the album. First, it was released officially in 1985, so it had been out a couple of years. And again, exactly when I got this, and I may have even gotten it earlier than 88 or 89, because I think that this had, and I'm pretty sure I got it in Long Island, so maybe it was one of those summers where I spent on Long Island while I was off from school. But anyway, it was released on the Gramavision label in 1985. And it is, I don't know how many albums he had before then. But anyway, the album that I'm talking about is Mobile Club from Kazumi Watanabe. So there you can see he's got his Steinberger guitar. On the back, whether he's hiding his face or attempting to look like he's playing it like Jimi Hendrix, except the strings are facing the wrong way. So it's not like he's playing with his teeth or with his tongue like Jimmy used to do, right? But he's kind of mimicking it right there. And like I said, this was a cassette that I just happened to bring home, and I really dug it quite a bit. And I went out and got Mobo 1, Mobo 2, and Mobo Splash. I got all the Mobo stuff, and then I picked up Spice of Life 2. And within fairly short period of time, I went and got a bunch of these. And let me tell you who plays on the album. So, of course, Kazumi Watanabe, one of the, most famous Japanese guitar players in the jazz and fusion scene, playing all sorts of guitars and some guitar synthesizers and things like that. We got Greg Lee on bass, Ken Watanabe on bass and a little guitar. We got Shuichi Murakami on drums. We got Kiyohiko Semba on percussion. I hope I'm saying these names correctly. Probably not, but I'm taking a stab at it anyway. Ichiko Hashimoto on keyboards, piano. Mitsuro Sawamura on sax, and Akira Sakata on sax as well. So we've got 8 tracks on this. I'm assuming, and I don't remember to be honest, I'm assuming all 8 tracks were also on the cassette, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I know the CD's got 8. Sometimes, back then the cassette only fit like certain amounts, so sometimes they would leave off certain things, or sometimes you get an extra track on the cassette release. I don't remember. To me, there's a lot of good stuff on here. I think my favorite tracks are the first song and the last song, because those are the 2 tracks where Kazumi goes absolutely batshit crazy on. Furen is the opener. Blistering high-energy fusion, and he's doing some amazing guitar work on there. Same thing with Sigma, which is the last track. In fact, I think Sigma might be my favorite song on here. It's just got some crazy, crazy soloing from him. But great stuff from the whole band throughout this. The bass playing is amazing on this album. Really, really good. Some of the drum sounds aren't the best. It's the mid-'80s. There's that kind of like processed, kind of like synthesized drum thing going on some of the album. But, it is what it is, right? It's a product of its time. But there's some other really good stuff on here. You got Yokan, Tsurikame, Hinatango, Kiken ga Epai, Kiyoshi, Seppun, Satchan, and Circadian Rhythm. All kind of sandwiched in between the opening and closing tracks, again, which are my favorites. But there's really good ensemble work here. Some of it's very kind of funky. It's got that kind of like mid-'80s fusion sound, so some of it's a little kind of overproduced and, has that kind of upbeat kind of saccharine thing going on. But for the most part, there's really good playing on here. What was interesting, it's like, after hearing this album first and then going to get my next cassette, which was the Mobo 1, Mobo 2 collection. And I don't remember at the time if there was 2 separate cassettes or they were both on one. I don't recall. But I know like there's... one of them's got like Robbie Shakespeare and the other dude from the reggae guys, Macintosh and Shakespeare, and they're like these kind of long, drawn out, kind of like reggae-ish kind of beats, jams, and then Kazumi just comes in and just like unleashes these lengthy, torrid solos. And I was thinking, wow, that's completely different than this, right? And that's the good thing about Kazumi stuff is like a lot of his albums are very different from each other. It's like you don't often get exact replicas of what came before or after. Same thing like with the Spice of Life stuff. You got those albums that he did with Bill Bruford and Jeff Berlin, and they, they're both very different from each other, even though it's basically the same lineup. So, but yeah, this is really, really cool stuff. And like I said, if you have never kind of like investigated the music of Kazumi Watanabe, are the Mobo albums a good place to start? Yeah, they're all good, right? So you got Mobile Club, you got Mobile Splash, you got Mobile 1, Mobile 2. There might be others that I don't even have. I'm trying to think if I got any other ones. Well, those are the ones that I have. But he's got a lot of really, really good albums. So and an amazing, amazing guitar player. Really, really good. Very unique style, too. He doesn't really sound like anybody else. So yeah, that's my blind buy pick for today. Mobo Club from Kazumi Watanabe. Saw that little white cassette with this Japanese gentleman dressed in a suit and tie playing a Steinberger. I was like, I'm going to take a chance on this guitar player. Why the hell not? I'm glad I did, because here we are 40 years later, right? Just about. And still listening to the guy. So there you have it. That's my pick for today. List yours down below and any comments you might have on Kazumi Watanabe. I'm sure George LeMay will. Maybe Eric Porter will. Maybe some of our other 4 Fusion Friday friends will have some comments on the great Kazumi Watanabe. But, of course, list your pick down below. Your blind buy for today, along with the story. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Visit us on the web at www.seeattranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pete Pardo. All the links to help out the channel down below. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Take care. Bye-bye.